Well, if you listen to the league offices, the countless hordes of ignorant teenagers on various social media platforms, corrupt journalists who are largely on the take, and yes, even unnamed scrubs on this very YouTube platform who have amassed immense followings, the NBA product has never been better. We are smack dab in the alleged greatest era ever, where players' skill sets and athleticism are at unprecedented heights, and the individual offense of players is just too good for defenses to account for. But it all begs the question, if the product is so good, why the hell is no one watching it? Viewership has been on a steep decline now for the last 4 years. And sure, I know what you're thinking. Viewership is likely down across all sports as viewing platforms have changed. The ways and times in which we consume these games has fundamentally been altered in this day and age. Additionally, there is so much new content to watch in this streaming age. Surely you might be thinking other sports have also been affected. Well, not exactly, as we're coming off of an all-time record-setting NFL postseason with the best audience on record for the combination of the wildcard, divisional, and championship rounds, as per-game averages across those 3 rounds topped out at 38.5 million viewers across all platforms. And that is up from 35.3 million just a year ago. The previous record high was 37.5 million, and that came back in 2016. Also this season, an all-time record high for the conference championship games, which averaged 56.1 million viewers, and that is up 11% from last season. Okay, sure, that is the NFL. You can't possibly compare football to basketball. And surely, the amateur basketball products in this country have also been suffering. Wrong again, as 5.9 million viewers tuned into the CBS Bracket Unveiling Show on March 17th of this year. The Bracket Unveiling Show got more viewers than any of the NBA's 5 Christmas Day games generated this season. Much more. And it is more than the record-setting low this year's NBA All-Star Game got. While the NCAA Men's March Basketball Tournament first-round games on Thursday and Friday this year drew an average of 8.53 million viewers per game, which is the 3rd most in tournament history, behind only last year's total of 8.62 million and the 8.56 million viewers per game in 2015. While the Saturday games this year tracked even better, averaging 10.8 million viewers across all platforms per game, making it the most watched first day of the second round in the history of the format. This suggests a possible enormous Final Four is on the horizon this year, and it's not just men's college basketball. The ladies are also experiencing a historic explosion in viewership, as their NCAA tournament games are now averaging 812,000 viewers per game through the second round thus far, which is an increase of 108% over this same time from a year ago. And with over 1.5 billion minutes watched in the first round, according to ESPN, it is the most viewed first round in women's tournament history. Also in the midst of this rating explosion for the women, the second round matchup between the number 1 seed Iowa Hawkeyes and number 8 seed West Virginia Mountaineers, which was Caitlin Clark's final home game, averaged 4.9 million viewers, making it the largest pre-Final Four audience in women's March Madness history, an audience which outdrew the Lakers-Celtics game on Christmas Day this season. So with the proliferation of viewership in college basketball, what gives with the NBA's historical tank job in the ratings department? While last year's Nuggets-Heat NBA Finals did outperform 2020 and 2021 slightly, overall it was the lowest otherwise since 2007, which was coincidentally the first appearance by the self-proclaimed king. And speaking of that 2007 Finals series between LeBron's Cavaliers and the San Antonio Spurs, it was only the second time in Finals ratings tracking history that an NBA Finals series did not average at least 10 million viewers per game, until that is the Chosen One's last Finals appearance in the 2020 Bubble Series, which stands now as the lowest per game average for viewers ever at an absolutely humiliating 7.45 million viewers per game.
It's a complete crap.
And since that 2020 series, the last 4 finals now rank among the 6 least watched on record, joining the aforementioned 2007 series and the Spurs-Nets in 2003. Coincidentally, the sharp decline in viewership has all taken place on the watch of a petulant, entitled brat who burst on the stage with Chosen One inked on his back and has been crowning himself since virtually the word go. It isn't amusing, it isn't endearing, and it is especially nauseating when an entitled loser who is team jumped and roster stacked like some kind of a modern day basketball mercenary deploys these disgusting tactics. Speaking of which, no one cares about the political ideologies or philosophies of a guy who barely graduated from high school and can't seemingly make it beyond the first page of any book he attempts to read. This is sadly not specific to just LeBron James, and this is regardless of whatever the hell your individual politics are. It is off-putting to be lectured to and have it slammed in your face when you're simply tuning in to watch a sporting event. And the NBA's political grandstanding reached all-time heights, coincidentally, in that 2020 bubble tournament on the Disney campus in Orlando, and the league has never seemingly been able to recover. But it isn't just that. It's the entire player empowerment movement, where entitled lazy bums are signing absurdly inflated contracts and can't be bothered to play more than 60-something games a year, barely break a sweat on the defensive end, and if they aren't happy with the franchise's direction, they just refuse to play altogether until they're traded to a situation they handpick. The NBA is fundamentally broken. It started the moment the league offices lost control of the players. Check that. It started the moment the league offices started encouraging and empowering their players to take over. Certainly, most of the fans would return if the on-court product improved. And I realize this is a difficult theory for most of you Gen Zers to wrap your warped minds around, but yeah, this product is straight ass. Shooting 50 uncontested threes a game doesn't make this the most skilled era, nor does the preposterously inflated scoring benchmarks. It means no one is trying at all on defense, and it isn't simply about defense, it's about competition. Newsflash, NBA, most sports watching fans like to see players competing, not jogging up and down the floor with no resistance whatsoever. Nightly scoring averages are up this year, the 2023-2024 league year, by over 21 points per game on average from 20 seasons ago, when nightly averages in 2003-2004 was just 93.4 points per game. Some of it, yes, is the rules changes, but much of it is the outlook and effort levels of this current crop of players. And make sure to lose me with the players are too good premise. The second overall pick in the 2023 NBA draft, Brandon Miller, is currently averaging 17 points per game in 65 games so far in his rookie campaign. The last we saw of Brandon in his collegiate career, he was flaming out in the third game of the NCAA tournament as the #1 overall seed, while scoring just 9 points per game on 19.5% shooting from the field and 15.8% from three. he scored just 28 points total in 85 minutes played against Texas A&M Corpus Christi, Maryland, and San Diego State. He has scored over 28 points 6 times so far in a single NBA game this season. While Luka Doncic, who is leading the league in scoring this season and is now all the way up to the 3rd highest career scoring average in NBA history, behind only Michael Jordan and Will Chamberlain, is on record as saying the EuroLeague is much harder than the NBA. If players don't care about the product and can't be bothered to compete at a high level, why should any of the viewers care to watch it? There is no quick fix, no easy answers, but it is undeniable the NBA is at nearly an all-time low in popularity, as you have to go all the way back to the dark ages of the 70s to find a time period where people cared so little about this sport. It took the Herculean efforts of Magic Johnson and Larry Bird to save the NBA and put it back on the map in the 80s. Then it was, of course, Michael Jordan, who elevated the league to unknown heights during the 90s, with his final game in a Bulls uniform when he captured his 6th NBA championship, drawing nearly 36 million viewers, the most watched professional basketball game in history. The legends that preceded this era advanced and improved the game, or carried on the torch from those that came before them, while the alleged best players in this generation have undeniably destroyed the sport and left the league in a far worse place than how they found it. The only question that remains now is if there is anyone anywhere on the basketball horizon that has the ability to uplift this product, repair it, and save the NBA.